Stop scrolling right now. What if the most shocking love story in Chinese entertainment was happening behind closed doors while nobody was watching? What if a struggling actress stood on the edge of losing the one place that held every memory of her childhood? The home where she took her first steps. The home where her dreams were born. The home she thought she would never see again. And what if a man quietly stepped in without asking for credit? Without cameras? Without interviews? Without anyone knowing? Before you continue reading, tell us in the comments whether you believe true love still exists in today's world. Then stay until the very end, because the final revelation left fans completely speechless. Zhang Linghe secretly buys Tian Xiwei childhood home to save her from debt. The story that has the entire internet talking. The rain had been falling since morning. Dark clouds stretched across the sky as Tian Xiwei stood silently outside the old neighborhood where she had spent most of her childhood. The streets looked smaller than she remembered. The walls carried years of fading paint and forgotten memories. Every corner held a piece of her past. She remembered running through those narrow pathways after school. She remembered summer evenings when the entire neighborhood felt alive. She remembered sitting by the window dreaming about becoming an actress one day. Back then, the future felt limitless. Back then, she believed nothing could ever take those memories away. But life has a strange way of testing even the strongest people. Success does not always arrive with peace. Sometimes fame comes carrying invisible burdens. Sometimes the brightest smiles hide the heaviest worries. And according to the story that has captivated countless fans, Tian Xiwei was facing one of the most difficult moments of her life. Financial pressure had begun to mount. Responsibilities seemed to multiply overnight. Unexpected challenges appeared one after another. The situation became so overwhelming that the possibility of losing her childhood home suddenly became very real. For many people, a house is simply a building. For Tian Xiwei, it was something much deeper. It was her history. It was her family. It was the place where every dream first began. The thought of losing it felt unbearable, yet there seemed to be no solution. No easy escape. No miracle waiting around the corner. At least that was what everyone believed. What nobody realized was that somewhere else in the city, another person was quietly paying attention. Zhang Linghe. Known for his calm personality and reserved nature, he had always avoided unnecessary attention. While the public saw a successful actor enjoying a flourishing career, those close to him knew there was another side rarely seen by cameras. A side that valued loyalty above recognition. A side that believed actions mattered more than words. And according to the story that has set social media on fire, Zhang Linghe had learned about Tian Xiwei's situation. He understood what that house meant to her. He understood that this was not merely about property. This was about preserving a lifetime of memories. Most people would have offered sympathy. Some might have offered advice. A few may have offered temporary help. But what happened next allegedly stunned everyone. Instead of discussing the matter publicly, instead of announcing some grand gesture, instead of seeking praise, Zhang Linghe reportedly made a decision that nobody saw coming. He would act quietly, privately, completely behind the scenes. Days passed, then weeks. While rumors circulated and uncertainty continued to grow, nobody noticed the discreet meetings taking place. Nobody noticed the paperwork being reviewed. Nobody noticed the careful negotiations unfolding away from public view. Everything happened in silence. The kind of silence that often hides the biggest surprises. Then came the moment that changed everything. The moment that would later become the center of endless discussions among fans. The ownership of the childhood home had reportedly changed hands. The property was secured. The threat was gone. The house was safe. But the most astonishing detail had not yet emerged. Because according to the story, the buyer was not an investor, not a developer, not a wealthy stranger. It was Zhang Linghe. The revelation spread like wildfire. Fans could hardly believe what they were hearing. Questions flooded social media. Why would he do something so significant without telling anyone? Why keep it secret? Why avoid public recognition? The answers only made the story more emotional. Because the gesture was never supposed to become public knowledge. There were no plans for headlines. No intention of creating a spectacle. No desire for applause. The goal was simple. Protect something precious. Preserve something irreplaceable. Help someone who mattered. When Tian Xiwei allegedly discovered the truth, the moment was said to be unforgettable. Imagine receiving news that the place containing your entire childhood had been saved. Imagine learning that someone had quietly carried the burden you thought you had to face alone. Imagine realizing that while the world saw your success, someone had also noticed your struggles. For a long moment, words reportedly failed her. The emotions were too overwhelming. The relief was too powerful. The gratitude was too deep. Even the strongest people sometimes find themselves speechless. As news of the story continued spreading, fans began revisiting countless interviews and public appearances. Every interaction between Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei suddenly gained new meaning. Every smile, every glance, every shared moment. People searched for clues that had been hiding in plain sight all along. Some believed the story revealed a friendship built on genuine care. Others saw evidence of something far deeper. Debates exploded across fan communities. Videos accumulated millions of views. Discussion threads stretched for thousands of comments. Everyone wanted to know the truth. Everyone wanted answers. Yet perhaps the most remarkable part of the story was not the rumored purchase itself. It was what the story represented. In a world obsessed with visibility, it described an act performed entirely in the shadows. In a culture where every gesture is often documented and shared, it suggested the existence of kindness without witnesses. The kind of kindness that asks for nothing in return. The kind that exists even when nobody is watching. Whether the story is completely true, partially true, or simply a powerful rumor, it has touched millions for one reason. People want to believe that genuine care still exists. People want to believe loyalty still matters. People want to believe someone would step forward when another person is facing their darkest moment. And perhaps that is why this story continues to resonate. Not because of fame. Not because of celebrity status. Not because of headlines. But because it reminds us of something deeply human. The desire to protect what matters. The willingness to help without seeking recognition. The courage to stand beside someone when they need it most. As the discussion continues and fans search for answers, one thing remains certain. The image of a childhood home saved from being lost forever has captured hearts everywhere. A quiet act. A hidden sacrifice. A gesture powerful enough to inspire millions. And if even a small part of the story is true, it may become one of the most unforgettable tales ever associated with Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei. What do you think? Would you secretly help someone you care about if it meant changing their life forever? As the story continued spreading across social media platforms, fans became even more fascinated by what allegedly happened after Tian Xiwei learned the truth. According to the growing rumors, she could not stop thinking about the extraordinary gesture. For days, she reportedly revisited old memories connected to the house. Every room carried a story. The small corner where she used to study after school. The living room where her family spent countless evenings together. The doorway where she would stand and imagine the future waiting beyond the neighborhood streets. Those memories were never about money. They were about identity. They were about where everything began. That is what made the situation so emotional. Many fans pointed out that opportunities come and go, careers rise and fall, but childhood memories can never be replaced. Once a place connected to those memories disappears, a piece of the past disappears with it. The more people discussed the story, the more emotional the reactions became. Some fans shared their own experiences of losing family homes. Others spoke about how much they wished they had been able to preserve places that meant so much to them. Suddenly, the story was no longer just about celebrities. It became something deeply personal for millions of people. Meanwhile, Zhang Linghe's silence only added to the mystery. There were no public statements. No interviews explaining the situation. No attempts to confirm or deny the rumors. His decision to remain quiet created even more curiosity. Some fans believed that his silence revealed everything. Others argued that true generosity does not need an explanation. It simply exists. Then another detail began circulating online. Several fans claimed that those close to the situation described Tian Xiwei as deeply moved by the gesture. Not because of the financial value involved, but because it showed an incredible level of understanding. Saving the house meant protecting years of memories. It meant protecting a connection to her childhood. It meant preserving a chapter of her life that could never be recreated. That realization reportedly made the gesture even more meaningful. As weeks passed, the story continued gaining attention, crossing fan communities and entertainment circles alike. What started as a simple rumor had transformed into one of the most talked about celebrity stories of the year. Whether every detail is accurate or not, one thing is undeniable. The story captured people's hearts because it represented something rare. A reminder that sometimes the most powerful acts are not performed in front of cameras. They happen quietly, without applause, without recognition. And sometimes those unseen moments become the ones that leave the deepest impact on the lives of others.